When should you call your realtor? That's a great intro.
That's a wonderful intro.
You're listening to Home Sellers Advantage. I'm your host, Aaron Zapata.
And I'm your other host, Todd Anderson. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Sellers Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253.
Hey, so welcome back. And, Todd and I have a listing right now. We're in escrow. And congrats to our seller who got 8 offers. When did we first talking? When did we first start talking?
You talking how long?
Yeah.
You 51?
I learned to talk today. Yes. When did we
talk
first
long time.
start talking to this seller?
Well, you started, like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. We've known this client. I've known this client for, I'm going to say, almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Worked with them well in the past. And they sold a house, then they bought a house, and they've lived in this one for years and have been on my mailing list. So let's just start with that. But most recently, when they decided it was time to move, they called me. And when they called me? Like just over 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
at the tail end of 2023
Yeah.
is when they called me. And so we thought that we should talk about this idea of when should you engage with your realtor in the process of selling.
Yeah, something that's interesting that has happened for us actually even recently. Out in Westminster, we sold a property, and that created a litany of neighbors in the neighborhood who had apparently been thinking about selling but hadn't really talked to anybody. And so we sold the property, and they were amazed at the price that we sold it for. And so we had 2 other neighbors that contacted us and wanted us to sell their property, but they hadn't spoken to anybody, but it had been on their mind. And so the question is, at what point, if it enters your mind, should you speak to a realtor?
Well, and that's the thing, right? When you go to sell the largest asset that you own,
Mm-hmm.
it is very important to make that call earlier than later.
Yeah.
And there are some people that were like, hey, we need to list it next week. Let's get going.
Mm-hmm.
And, as realtors, like, we don't necessarily enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a thrill and there's the adrenaline rush of like, okay, let's go, 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 go. But we are professionals and we like to do a great job, not just a quick job.
Yeah, we like to have a plan and to plan things out. We can sell on the spur of the moment, no problem. We're pretty good at it, but we like to be able to plan things out and have a methodology to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I keep a list of all of the sellers we've talked to over the years, and I'm still carrying around the 2024 list. And some of our listings right now and some of our escrows right now definitely are still are on that list where we first started talking to them in 2024 and in 2025.
Yeah.
And so that just should be enough right there. But let's talk about some of the reasons people call us early. Number one is they want to know what their price is worth, what their house is worth right now. Like, even though they're going to sell in a couple of years, they just want to know, what's my house worth today? And that's a valid question. Even if you're going to sell in 2 years, call us, meet with us. Let's talk about what your house is worth today.
Yeah.
Because that will at least give you a basis on which to start your planning.
Yeah. And they also want to know, one of the other reasons is they want to know what the market is doing and what the fluctuations are going to be moving forward. And, I wish that we always knew exactly what the market was going to do.
Well, we do, Todd. We always do.
That's right. We do. If everybody knew exactly what the market was going to do, everybody would be millionaires. Or actually, if everybody knew, then maybe nobody would be millionaires because
everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows. I don't know.
Yeah. In order to make money, someone has to lose money. Usually, like in that scenario you're talking about.
That's right. But the fact is, oftentimes it's a matter of, wanting to know how to time the selling and purchasing of real estate.
Yeah. So if you are a young couple looking to buy a property and you're pregnant, you're probably going to have a different timeline than somebody who's not.
Yeah.
And so obviously you're going to want to meet with a realtor to start talking about your time frame. Now, when you're selling, you may have something right around the corner that you need to plan for. It may be a year or 2 years out. So we're getting calls not only to know the price, but another reason that people call us is the timing. Mm-hmm. Another one is, what upgrades should we do so that we don't waste money?
Yeah. How can we prepare the home?
Yeah. So a lot of times that call is one of our favorites because we are able to give some advice so that you as a homeowner make smart decisions and don't overspend. You don't want to put $80,000 into a kitchen that's only going to get you $50,000, right? You don't want to put $30,000 into a bathroom that's only going to get you $25,000 back. So we want to make sure that we advise you on the things that we see to be appropriate to do.
Yeah.
Upgrades that are good and upgrades that are bad.
Yeah.
So that's another reason that people call us.
Yeah. So painting your spare bedroom a Pepto-Bismol pink is not something we would advise. If you were thinking about it,
Depends.
you know, depends on what community maybe.
It depends. I mean, if you live next to the Madonna Inn up in San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, if you're heading north,
yeah, it might be okay. But no, not normally.
But yeah, so generally we like to plan those things out. We like to help. Speaking of that Pepto-Bismol pink, we do like to help give you some advice on even color palette for painting, carpets, surfaces, those sorts of things.
Yeah. Another thing that is important is external landscaping.
Yeah,
now,
that's a big one.
You know, internals like, hey, what color paint? Should we do this, upgrade or not? But we just, I can't talk today. We just recently met with a couple, and they have a large side yard. And the question was, should we put in a pool? Will we get our money back? And I said, well, probably not. Because on a pool, you don't normally make it back unless it's a super extravagant, luxurious neighborhood where that kind of pool is in high demand. And they said, well, what else should we put back here? And we said, well, you might want to just leave it grass because anything you do to it actually is probably not going to get a ton of money back. Yeah,
so leaving it in that case gives future potential for the future buyer, and they can kind of see the possibilities.
Absolutely. So rather than spending $150,000 on a pool here in Southern California, they're not going to do that. They're going to put in some other landscaping. It's going to look really nice, and the dollar cost for that versus what they get back is going to be a lot larger. Yeah. So that's another great reason that we want people to call us.
Yeah. Speaking of landscaping, I mean, do I spend money completely redoing all the bushes and the areas where there's retaining walls and there's dirt that's exposed, maybe weeds, or do I just put some mulch in there? Oftentimes, hey, put some mulch in. But even there, we will give advice on what type of mulch. Do you buy the fiery red mulch that's on sale? No, don't put that in. Typically, we're going to put in the darker mulch. But those are some of the details that we like to plan out and kind of walk you through to get the best bang for your buck.
Another reason that we meet with homeowners early is perhaps they own a property that has a tenant. And when working with tenants in Southern California, you are going to have to take in all of the tenant laws into consideration. And so depending on timing, depending on how long the tenant's been there, all of those factors are going to come into play in the process of selling the home. And it's, again, good to have a strategy and a plan when it comes to selling a home that has a tenant.
Yeah. Do you want to sell the home with the tenant in place? Well, then you'll be probably selling to investors. Or do you want to wait until that tenancy is expired, then you issue the notice that you're going to be selling the home and they need to vacate? All that needs to be timed out properly.
That's right. Another reason that people call us early is if the home is on a reverse mortgage, and it's usually the children that call us in this instance, and one or both of the parents have gone into a home or have passed away. And they are, especially if they're going into a home and they're starting to move out of the property, that is an important time stamp on the home because reverse mortgages require that one or both of the parties that are on the loan be in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they're out for more than 1 year,
Yeah.
then they need to start the selling process.
Yeah.
So, but if they pass away, then they need to sell it within 1 year. So there's a whole lot of different intricacies in that process. And so it's important to call your realtor early on that.
Yeah, and going along with the reverse mortgage, if you have an ailing relative who is in the home, maybe it's not a reverse mortgage, but there is certainly a time frame in which they're either going to be moving into a care facility, or maybe there's only a short period of life left.
Mm-hmm.
Those things should be planned out ahead of time, because the last thing you want to do is be dealing with the stress of how to sell a home and how to manage that when you've got so many of the other additional emotional and mental things that are putting a stress on you during that difficult time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want another big decision amongst the many decisions you make at that time.
So if you can plan that out ahead of time,
Yeah.
put those things in motion.
Another time that people call us and meet with us is when they want to do some tax planning.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are planning to sell at a certain time, or perhaps they are working with their parents on, again, a home, and they're trying to decide, should they sell it before or after mom and dad pass away?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is as a tax planning strategy conversation that is a good one to have with your realtor as well as your CPA and your legal team.
Yeah, your CPA will give you the tax advice. We are not CPAs, but we as the realtors will work with your CPA and with you in giving the selling advice to help maximize that tax advice. Yeah.
What if your initials were CPA? You could never say, "Well, I am CPA." You know,
I am CPA, but I'm not a CPA.
That's right. That's right. What other reasons do people need to call us early? Well, just to get an evaluation. Perhaps you are not thinking about selling at all, but again, situation where you need a date of death analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on your legal advisor or your CPA, they may say, hey, get a full-blown appraisal based on the date of death so that we can get a stepped-up basis.
And I should clarify, when he says date of death, because we're talking about calling early, when he says date of death analysis, we're not talking about future death.
Yes. But okay, so you inherit a house because mom or dad passed away.
But a previous death, yes.
Right. And you're going to eventually sell this house or figure out if you turn it into a rental. So we get these calls a lot from our clients and our past clients that say, hey, you know what, mom or dad passed and we're not sure what we're going to do with the house, but some CPA told us that we need to figure out what it was worth on the date of death. And so we do a date of death analysis, and we can send a full-page report with a detailed analysis of what we believe the house was worth at that specific time. And that goes in the file and is used for tax purposes and things like that, especially when the property is sold later down the line.
Yeah, so the tax purposes, you're paying on the increase from the date of death, the valuation of the increase from the date of death until the time that the sale actually takes place.
That's right.
That's what that stepped-up basis means.
Absolutely. And another reason to call your realtor early is you have no plans to sell, but you need somebody to work on the house. And we are connected from electricians.
And we have had that.
Handyman and landscapers, painters, roofers, you name it. If it has something to do with a home, that's our job.
Mm-hmm.
Like we work with this Rolodex of vendors that service the home.
Now, do some of the younger listeners know what a Rolodex is?
You know what? Go look it up. ChatGPT it, okay?
Not a Rolex, a Rolodex.
Yeah. Go to ChatGPT and look it up, all right? You're on AI anyways, so they can look it up. So number of reasons we've given you here to contact your realtor. Don't be afraid to contact them earlier rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
No realtor is going to say, oh, you called me too early.
You're not bothering them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is our job. Our job is to look down the road and help give you advice of what's coming, and we would love to hear from you earlier than later.
Yep.
So before we move on to the next episode, I just want to throw this in here at the end, okay? Kind of a bonus to this one.
Some words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom from Mr. Warren Buffett himself. These are some quotes about real estate.
Warren Buffett, is it? That's making me hungry. Is that buffet?
Oh, Todd, your dad joke was not good.
That's pretty bad.
That was a terrible
No, you all know who Warren Buffett is. So
Yes. So he is great. One of the greatest investors of all times when it comes to stocks, and built Berkshire Hathaway. So he has some interesting quotes on real estate. And the reason I wanted to bring it up today, and I'm sure Opus Clips will pick this up as a separate little short that we can throw onto YouTube. So this is really is now a good time to buy or sell? Because with all the craziness going on in the world, and we have a lot of craziness, people are scared. And, we talked about this with our real estate team on Tuesday, where we aren't seeing a lot of public declaration of real estate intent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things are kind of silent.
Yeah. People are quiet. They're afraid to talk to their friends and to their family and to their neighbors if they're thinking about selling, because there's so many different opinions.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be told what they're thinking is dumb.
Yeah.
And so there's this quiet, silent undercurrent of real estate activity that is happening, but you don't hear about it. And so I wanted to bring that up because Warren Buffett has some really good quotes. And he says, I'll tell you how to become rich. Close the doors. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. And the website I got this said, hey, here's the translation of what that means. Now is the time to buy. In real estate and in life, it's almost always best to act opposite of the herd.
That's true.
And if you read the headlines today, it says the housing market's going to crash. Interest rates are high. Property values are dropping. Now, that might be true in some markets. Definitely not true here in Orange County.
Yeah.
And so if that's what your friends are saying, you might be a little timid to announce your intentions. And we just want to throw it out there that give us a call. We'll give you an understanding of what's going on in the market. And if everybody is saying this is a terrible time to buy, it's probably a good time to buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's competition.
Yeah. Yeah. You take advantage of those fluctuations. I mean, that's really where the advantage comes from, is when there's fluctuations.
Speaking of fluctuations, Todd, why don't you read that?
Speaking
quote?
of fluctuations, was that foreshadowing? Which one am I reading?
Number 6.
Number 6.
Well, it's not quote number 2.
Quote number 2 for us. Today's market fluctuations are your friend because they've scared off your competition, and because the fluctuations have created a flood of motivated sellers.
Yeah. Now, we don't have a lot of sellers.
Yeah.
But I can tell you they're motivated because they have places to go and things to do. Think about this scenario, and this is true today. We have sellers who have interest rates on their mortgages of 2.5% to 3.5%. They're giving that up to go buy something else at a 6% interest rate. Tell me you're not motivated. Tell me you're motivated without telling me you're motivated.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so we're getting a lot of good sellers like that.
Let me read the translation of that quote. This is interesting. It says, naive people are putting their money into stocks, bonds, and savings accounts right now. Smart people continue to invest in real estate, and they're picking up more bargains than ever.
Yeah. And that's so true, especially in those declining areas right now, like in parts of Florida and Texas and even parts of Arizona. We have investors buying some properties that we know. I'm not buying properties myself, but they're getting amazing deals on properties, especially multifamily properties right now. So because, as they say, there's blood in the water and the sharks are circling. Well, the investors the good ones, buy in those down markets. And so what does that mean for you as a buyer seller? You got to put your earphones on, close the doors, decide what you need to do, and then give the Bald Brothers team a call.
Yeah. That's a good transition because I see there's one more quote I think we should read.
Okay.
Because that goes in line with what Aaron just said. Give the Bald Brothers team a call. And this is another quote from Warren Buffett. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing.
Yes.
And so what you do,
risk
comes from not knowing what you're doing. And so what do? Smart people
call the Bald Brothers.
Smart people connect with people who know what they're doing.
Oh, I thought you were just going to go straight to
call the Bald Brothers team.
That's right.
They call the Bald Brothers team.
So what do smart people do?
They call the Bald Brothers team.
Thank you.
There you go. Be a smart person.
Call the Bald Brothers team. And we will help you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
so that you make a good choice, an informed choice, and a choice that's right for you.
Yeah, and be a smart person. Call the Bald Brothers team. If you don't call the Bald Brothers team, what does that say about you? I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. You guys can figure that out. I'm not going to say it.
Yes.
But do you know what we do, Todd?
We sell homes.
Yes, we do. And we appreciate your time today. Hope you found it helpful. Hope you found it insightful. And if you did, please like, share, subscribe, take a screenshot, post it, tag us on Instagram or on YouTube, and we'd love to follow up with you. So thanks for watching today. Thanks for listening today. And until next time, God bless. Thanks for listening to the Home Sellers Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.